All right, guys. Hey, welcome back. It is good to see everyone. So today we're going to be doing more solo self-found hardcore cleric grinding. You guys should be used to it by now, but we are pushing a few more levels in Unrest. My goal here is really to get to that level 29, ideally tonight, if not tonight, very, very soon. The reason being, of course, is that we can't really effectively hunt for gear until we push and actually get level 29, because we'll get a new direct damage spell that is not limited to just working on undead. So until that time, we're pretty much constrained. And I think the only really viable EXP place we have solo right now that doesn't have a huge risk or isn't super slow is still Unrest. So we're going to be revisiting Unrest. Right now, I'm just in the Canos Aqueducts getting ready to sell, wrapping up my buffs and stuff before we gate back to Unrest, though. But that's what's in store for today. Not the most exciting thing ever, I guess, but it is hardcore, so you never know when it's going to take a turn for the worst. So there'll be some tension there, I guess. Anyway, glad to see everyone here. Looking forward to the rest of this session. And with no further ado, let's jump right in. All right, so first off, we will sell some of this stuff. Let's see. I don't have too much. Almost enough for another ruby. I periodically checked over the last couple of days to see if I could, find Linuga up in the swamp, but I had no luck. I'm not crazy about the idea. You know what? I should buy some food while I'm here. I'm not super crazy about the idea of going to the swamp and trying to spawn Linuga, because sometimes it takes a while. I did it a lot on Aridune when I was leveling up, but it took a long time, and there was also other people hunting in the zone. So even with newbies and stuff, killing a lot of the mobs that could potentially be Linuga PHs, it still took some time. So I know when I really buckled down to get that to get the earring from Lanuga. I want to go there with like a pile of rubies to really increase my chances, because I don't want to be there a bunch of times back and forth, trying to spawn her a few times. What's up, Pitten? Yo, Versaire, good to see you. Zico Naga, glad to see you're here, man. As always, Arakan, happy to see you here. You guys can't hear the music? Let me turn it up a little bit. I've been messing with the audio like for the last 30 minutes trying to get things dialed in. Seems like every time I turn my computer back on, the audio settings are all like recalibrated. Like the same settings that would work one time are terrible the next time. So it's something that I keep trying to dial in with limited success. Let me know if it's too loud or if it's overpowering the voice, etc. I actually had to turn off game audio today because the thunder noises in EQ are just so much louder than everything else. And even if you turn off environmental sounds, the thunder noise still comes through. I think the thing I have to do if I really want to stream with game audio at a normalized level in Unrest, especially because it's always thundering there, is I need to bypass the launcher and I need to actually like delete the thunderstorm sounds from my game files and then come back to the game without them. I always try to play some lo-fi. I think right now we're listening to DJ Cutman. I turned my gain down just a tad. Hopefully it's not too big of an impact. All right, yeah, that's another thing I wanted to mention. As you guys see, if you look at the channel points section, we do now have a community channel challenge. So check that out. What it is for is if we raise 500,000 channel points, which you get just by viewing the channel, and we contribute that to the challenge here, within 10 days, I will stream a playthrough of good old Champions of Norath. So come check that out. That is the original PlayStation 2 Everquest spin-off game, not the MMO. It's like a Diablo-esque kind of Everquest game. We'll do the first one, Village, and then if that goes well, we'll do another event, and we'll do the second one. Good to know, Village. I haven't played it in so long, man. I want to get back to it. I did it, I played it like as a kid. Had to be like 2002-ish, maybe 2004. I don't know. When did this game even come out? It came out in 2003, so it's probably 2004 that I did it last. I haven't really played since then. I see we have a few people already contributing, so that's good. Drinking. And so Medusa, it's just Diet Coke, but without the branding. This time it's got the good old Evangelion brand. No, Village, I think you can only donate 2K a day. That way people who have like piles and piles saved up can't just like knock it out instantly. And that's not a limitation that I put on it. That's like built into Twitch, so there's nothing we can do about it. I don't think these guys will aggro, but actually the next room up might aggro. Let's see. So this is, if we got aggro, it'd be right here. I know normally when we do these sessions, I start off by going through all of the new gear and everything that we've gotten, but we have had 0 new upgrades since last time because I haven't really played in between the streams. So for once, the Twitch viewers are all caught up. Whoa, Wolf with the specific lore history of the gnomes. Hey, Dax, thanks for the follow, man. Are you the same Dax from Finny? You used to run a website over there? I agree, Village. All right, Wolf, so you want to know the history, the lore of the gnomes. Let me confirm something really quick. Yep, okay. So the gnomes were created by Brel, though I think of Brel's races, they're like the least devout. You know, they have a bunch of other gods that they choose to worship at times. The most significant part of the gnomish lore that I'm tracking anyway is that they're more or less the people who discovered the Underdark. And beyond that, they're pretty significant because of all their tinkering, right? Obviously, they're the only race that can tinker. And then you look at what they've done with that is like pretty much built robots, right? They have the clockwork gnomes and all the clockwork creatures that they've created. Not only have they done that for like guards and for robots to like help with manual labor, but the king of Achenon, the leader of the gnomes, is now an eternal clockwork. So their leadership never changes. And it's supposed to be like, you know, totally bereft of bias and any kind of issues like that. So they have, in their eyes at least, built the perfect king. Oh, you're on Air Dune now. What guild are you with now, Dax? Man, it's crazy. We just blow through the Undead Knight like almost effortlessly now. Filthy Casuals, okay. Oh, are you just getting started there? I see. Were you doing WoW Classic or was it live content? Gotcha. What made you decide to come back to EQ after all these years? So, you know, Village, I don't think I've ever actually played the sequel to Champions of Norath. I never played Return to Arms. I own it, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm pretty set on trying to beat the first one before playing the second one. I think you can import your classes, can't you? Can't you like import characters from the first one to the second one? Yeah. I think when I played the original, I played as Shadow Knight, I want to say. So when you roll fresh, do they give you like a level advantage of some sort? Like do you start at like level 50? You know what I mean? Because I know you get pretty powerful by the end of the first one. Oh, it's level 1. That's crazy. Well, I wonder if you import your character, if they just normalize it down to level 1, or like how that works then. I think the first game I played where they did that, you know, where you could like transport save data across sequels was Mass Effect. I always thought that was like the coolest thing ever. Though obviously Champions of Norath did it first. Did you beat the second one? Would you play over there, Dax? Were you like your guild's main tank? Now they're faltering without you? That's good. What size are WoW raids now? They're pretty small, right? Compared to EQ? Like, I think live EQ right now is still 54, man. We just have to bite the bullet and kill this werebat so that he's not screwing us on spawns all night. What's going on, Zyko? Good to see you, man. Okay. 20's not too bad. Still a lot tighter, though, than the numbers we see with EQ, especially early EQ. So, Dax, you must be getting ready for Luckland now, right? Yeah. Whoop, whoop. Unless you're like in open world and you bring all 150, 200 people you have, right? Gotcha. Dax, I don't raid anymore. I haven't raided since Prophecy of Ro on Cello. What I've been doing basically since Eridune launch, I guess technically the last raid I did was P99 Green. I did like the server first Nagpin and Vox raids there. That was the last Q raid I did. And then on Eridune launch, I leveled up a character just for the leveling race, you know, the rush there. I did 1 through 50 server first and then deleted my character. And I've been doing solo self-found hardcore ever since then. Trying to get one of my characters all the way to 50 with no deaths, no groups, no trades, no ports, no buffs from anyone else. So that's my new thing. I can't get off of it. Yeah, it was crazy. We did like a sort of a gimmick style raiding for a little bit with like folks from the stream. We had this guild called Highlander that we raided with, and basically the concept of Highlander was there could only be one. We only had one of each class, and we wanted to see how far we could progress, but we allowed certain exceptions, you know what I mean, to make things possible. So generally we allowed one level range higher than whatever expansion we were on. So like Classic, I think we did Classic at like 55. Kunark we did at 60. And then like, yeah, we did Kunark actually at 60, I think. And then Velius and Luckland we were doing at 65. No, Dax, Faceless is still raiding. Faceless is the top guild on Cello. I think now probably the only guild on Cello, and they're gonna hit live in 1 or 2 months. They will be the first guild to hit live since like 2007. Yeah, press F for the pally indeed. Village, I forget, did I show you how the last paladin died? Yeah, Chisvin was there for a long time. There was a big thing on Cello launch where it was like a battle between 2 guilds, Faceless and Amtrak in the beginning. Yeah, the Dwarf Village. All right, let's see how this goes. Temporarily pop this over here. You know what? I'm gonna med up a little bit. It's not gonna be my health that's a problem. It's gonna be my mana pool. Trying to kill this guy with this stupid smite spell. Yeah, the Ice-T video, dude, is crazy. I think that all went down pretty much how everyone expected. Except for maybe like a few people who were truly delusional. Dude, that was a good time. It might have been, before launch at least, it might have been the server that I've never seen a server with so much trash talk, so much like content pre-launch, you know what I mean? Oh, hey, Dagon, I'm sorry, I missed your Fippy summon there. I got you. Yeah, I would. I've messed around in SOD a little bit, like at the group level, just because the zones are super cool. I just need to make it to SOD, you know what I mean? On a server one of these days. Big Revs, what's going on, dude? How are you? All right, here we go. You know, I saw someone in here today while I was messing around named Monk SSF, and I was like, "Hey, are you in the Discord? Like, I don't remember who in our crew is running a Monk right now." I can only assume that if they're doing SSF and EQ, that they're like, you know, chilling with us a little bit. But if they're not, just know that there's somebody else out there who's doing it. Someone else is doing that SSF run. Solo, truly solo, no advice. I talked to Bobby a couple days ago, Village. He seems fine. He was also talking about the Pantheon stream recently, so I know he's around. He's playing games. He told me he was playing Raid Shadow Legends. I think he's just not interested in streaming, maybe. Burnt out on it. Leok, good to see you, bro. Yeah, Bobby was awesome. I loved watching Bobby stream. He'll come back when the new TLP's launched, I'm sure. Wait, when you say SOD, do you mean Shards of Delia Village? I thought you meant Seeds of Destruction. What is my favorite Kunark dragon? Beef Wellington, man. It's a good question. Silverwing. I've never messed around on Shards of Dahlia. I'm kind of interested in it. I know it's like heavily customized, you know what I mean? And I like the concept of really taking the EQ, more or less the engine, and making it your own like they did. But yeah, I never got around to actually testing it out. I've got some friends who play. Abrupt, what's going on? I'm glad to see you finally made it. It's better live than on the VODs. Dax, they haven't announced a new TLP yet, but we know, like, you know, every March through May, pretty much, we're going to get a new TLP. That's at least the assumption. The assumption, at least. Dax, I don't know, man. If you want to stay on a server till live, I don't know that Airdune's going to make it there, to be totally honest with you. I think... I don't know that any server out right now, except for Finny and Stella, will hit live. That's just me, and a lot of people would disagree with me. I just don't see it happening, though. Oh, my favorite Kunark dungeon. Jeez, I need to learn how to read, right? I'll check that out, Wombat Man. Favorite Kunark dungeon. Let's see. I want to say Sebulus, but I've done Seb so many times, you know what I mean, that I might be kind of sick of it now. Dude, you know what? I really love Vishan's Peak. I mean, like, do you call it a dungeon? Questionable, right? But I really, really enjoy Vishan's Peak. City Mist is cool, especially the upper levels. I'm honestly not crazy about Down Here. I don't really like Kerns that much. K-Sora is kind of meh. Abrupt with the big sub. 2 months. Thank you so much, dude. Very much appreciated. Enjoy your little Spectre icon down there. But yeah, really, thank you for the support, dude. Man, you know, this is going to sound crazy, but I think my favorite area in Kunark is the Sarnak Fort in Lake Villomen. Ever since I was a little kid, I always loved it there. If not that, then Howling Stones. So I'll put Sarnak Fort, Howling Stones, Sebulus in that order. Fat Matt, how's it going, dude? Gornair's a beast, man. Gornair's a beast, tearing up guilds since 2000. 1999 even? No, I think Kunark was 2000. I need to give K-Sora a fresh shot, you know what I mean? I haven't done much in K-Sora. I really just, like, I've done a lot of Kerns, and I can say with confidence, I'm not crazy about Kerns. I really just don't like Kerns that much. The problem with Kerns is, like, it's a whole dungeon that is one color, you know what I mean? It's just like this one brown color palette. 99% of the mobs have the same model. It's just so bland, it's so boring that it just doesn't do anything for me. And there's like a lack of named mobs too, so it feels bad in there to me. Down here is cool, but I don't know, it's just like a little bit much to me. Oh yeah, man, Wombat, I didn't even think about Carnors. I'll put Carnors above Howling Stones. Knocks Sebulus right off the list. LOL, Leok getting suspended over Silverwing. That's true, dude. What's going on, Maze? She's doing great, dude. She's sleeping through the night now, which has helped me immensely. Wolf, you want to know my top 3 level 1 through 5 zones? North Kanos, Kanos Aqueducts, West Freeport. Those are my first 3. Yeah, so we're going to be doing Wednesday. Wednesday and Saturday are now permanent parts of the stream lineup for us. Right, I think you're right, Jay. Like, I don't think they made Kerns to be someone's favorite zone, you know what I mean? Goodman, I would say, like, to reliably do it, she was born in August and it wasn't until after Christmas. You know what I mean? Shake bruh. Thanks for the follow. Hope you're enjoying this. Yeah, no, Nexilus is a really good one too. Wombat. So, Kanos Aqueducts, West Freeport, Nexilus. And you know what? I'm going to go Payneal for my number 5. Number 5 is Payneal. Yeah, dude, feels bad, man. Hey, catch you later, Dax. Dax, if you get a chance, jump in our Discord. We can keep chatting. Stay in touch for the next TLP or something. We'll do. We'll have some fun together, I'm sure. Oh man, it's right around the corner, man. Are you ready? Yeah, Beef Wellington, like, if your nostalgia is really in for a certain zone, like, nothing can convince you that it's not great. You know what I mean? I'm the same way. I'm the same way with North Kanos. Like, it's probably not as good as I think it is, but I just love the zone so much because I grew up playing in North Kanos. My first ever paladin was West Freeport, though. His name was Geleb. It was the first time I used, like, the auto name generator. Geleb. I remember I made that character and I logged in and you could, like, inspect yourself and type little messages in there. And I was like, I will one day defeat the sleeper. Just put it there, boom. Left it. I think Geleb got to level 11. Steam Font, Field of Bone, West Freeport. I can tell you, Field of Bone is actually probably, like, I didn't pick it, but it is one of the better put together newbie zones, 100%. Oh my gosh, Inithil Swamp is like one of the worst. Dude, Firot and the Swamp are two of the worst newbie zones. Up there with Greater Fate Arc. Just terrible. I've never done a Gnome start, so I don't know much about Steam Font. Like, I mean, I've gone to Steam Font to grind and mess around. I know the kobolds there are like almost an instant spawn, so that's a huge thing for most people. But yeah, I haven't done it personally. To be able to say, like, starting from 1, this zone is awesome. Yeah, right, because you remember you used to get messages when someone inspected you? Man, this Undead Knight is going hard right now. Field of Bone, I think, is one of the most dangerous... Oh, shit. Look at me being dumb, dude. Using Smite. Good thing I noticed before I literally died to this guy. Field of Bone is really dangerous. There's, like, so many pathing high-level mobs, you know what I mean? It's like they took the Griffin from West Commonlands and just dialed it up to 10. The mobs tend to not be as high level as the mobs you see in some of the other newbie zones that are meant to be like sweepers, but there's a lot more of them all over the place, like the Chukdai hunters and stuff. Or I guess they're scaled wolf hunters. Black Burrow, I was all about Black Burrow. So the best part of EQ, man, back in the day, like what I used to do is I would make a character and I would do like those tier 1 newbie zone to newbie zone dungeons, and that was it. Like I would go do my character all the way up through Black Burrow. All right, finish Black Burrow. Where do we go next? I'm making a new character. Then you go and you do Crushbone. Then you go over and you try like Kara Island and stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I used to do because those low level dungeons tended to be like some of the best dungeons in the game design wise. I'll say that I don't like Najena and I don't like Fallen. I think both those dungeons kind of suck. It's hard to put a finger on exactly what makes the Fallen suck, but it's just not good. Is there anyone in the chat who thinks Befallen is a great dungeon? Just let's hear it. I wanna have the discussion. Yeah, for Sarah, you're right. If you go in that cave down there, you're safe. Because nothing paths down there, you know what I mean? You'll just crush everything. But if you're out in the pit, what all the newbies like me used to do, I remember our groups used to get wiped all the time in the pit. The pit does this thing where like you are supposed to sit on a ramp and pull to the ramp. But something about the pit just makes your group inch out more and more and more, you know what I mean? You find yourself, suddenly you're like in the middle of the pit. And when you find yourself in the middle of the pit, it's like already too late, you know what I mean? You're gonna get wiped. You think it's the worst. That's what I'm saying, Wolf. I really don't like it. Really don't like it. I went back one time and just redid Befallen hard on P99 actually, on my Necromancer just because I was like, you know, I need to give it a fair shot straight up in a really classic environment. I still hated it. It's just not good. Boot Lee, how's it going, dude? I think that's a big part of it too, like all the fear mobs and stuff. It's not a lot of fun when you lose control of your character. And I get when you're like doing dragons, you know what I mean? There's a feeling of epicness that dragons can do that. They can make you lose control and they can like literally make you be afraid, but it feels bad when it's like random trash mob makes you get feared and then you go through a locked door where you can't be accessed again, you die and you have to beg some high level rogue to go get your body or something. Right, Befallen is the dungeon, I think, more than like any other dungeon in EQ that feels like they took a D&D session and they made a dungeon out of it and it just didn't make the translation right. Like Befallen feels like it would be a great D&D dungeon, but it just doesn't translate to MMOs very well. Yeah, you're right, Leok, too. That is exceptionally early in the cycle of the game, you know what I mean, to be dropping those. You can almost move like a split second before your spell resolves and still resolve it. Mr. Green, thanks for the follow. Uh-oh, she got the instill. Now it's like nothing but nukes from here on out. I resisted Tishan's clash. I don't want to cast this. Just melee her. There we go. Dude, that well just like summons you to it in Befallen. It's like the tree in Blackbarrow, but even like, it's even worse. Somehow being able to see the well makes you just have to jump in it the first time you see it. Valk, the first newbie zone I spawned into the first time I played was North Kanos. I made a Shadow Knight and he spawned in North Kanos, I want to say. I remember like my first ever character, I made a Shadow Knight. It was a human Shadow Knight. And I was sad because I wanted to name him Shadow, but unsurprisingly, the name Shadow was already taken. I forget what his original name was now, after, you know, Shadow was taken. I just remember really being crushed that I couldn't be Shadow the Shadow Knight. Funniest name I've seen in EQ. Oh man. I don't know. I've seen a lot of good ones, but it's hard to think of any off the top. I want it to be Dracula, right? I always loved seeing Legolas back in the day. So I'm sure you guys remember Lord of the Rings was sort of like super hot when EQ was really popular too. And so when the Lord of the Rings movies were coming out, if you were playing EQ, like every ranger was some kind of Legolas name. And I remember seeing like they would just add more L's to it. You know what I mean? Like my name would be like Lee Legolas. You're like, oh, that's taken. 10 Lees is not enough. All right, we'll add 2 S's at the end. Velveta. Yo, Village, that was a real thing, man. You had to block out like all the rest of the light. Toxulia Forest was like that too. Tox has like a green fog in it, you know what I mean? Especially, and you're already an erudite in there, so it's so hard to see. Dude, McDonald's, Jay, that's a good name. That sucks. There used to be a bug. Some of the FOH forums guys, I think, were the ones doing this. But a few TLPs ago, maybe like Finny-ish, there was a bug with name changing where you could just ignore the name filter when you used a name change potion. So people would make their names like Dick Fart and like Ass, and then they would go kill a raid mob and it would have that big yellow text pop up on everybody on the server's screen, and it would say like their name defeated Finny. I think those guys got suspended like that day. Ah, there's a werebat over there. Kill me. Monty, you know me from either FOH forums or because I was a big follower of Pantheon. I'm assuming you're the Monty, the original Pantheon world builder. Which, by the way, good to see you, regardless. I don't have to manually type the target button on this werebat. Oh, geez, I have a hide corpse. Ooh, is an even con. See, this even con werebat is actually like ruining the whole fireplace camp for me right now. Thanks for the follow, Monty. Hey man, it sucks to see you go. I always liked the videos you did. I remember I found your YouTube channel and you did a lot of videos of yourself like working on the game, and I always thought it was super cool to be able to see that stuff. But you know, I know how it goes. Especially with a project like that, really small team and stuff. I saw some of the high quality renders you're doing of like EQ zones lately. I thought it was really awesome. Defecator Wolf. Is that on P99 or is that like back in the day? Oh yeah, yeah. So you're the reason they did the great name culling on P99. Namaste. That's so funny, dude. Wolf, I think I saw, was it you who posted like the speed run, the level 1 through 5 speed run with all the stacked out gear and stuff recently? That looked awesome. Yeah, Monty, you're probably like one of those people who you just like really get sucked into your passions, you know what I mean? And then you have to be like, I need to stop this because it's like taking over my whole life. That's how I can get. Echo Silex, this is not P99. I stream P99 every Wednesday and Saturday. Mondays and Fridays, I do TLP, Time Locked Progression, on the legit Everquest servers. This is a solo self-found permadeath hardcore playthrough. I was pretty impressed with all the goodies you had accumulated there. All right, it looks like the best thing is just to get the barkeep room here. Oh, Barbone? Yes, please. I don't even know why I cast y'all. It's just like habit, because I'm not gonna swing on this guy. I'll throw a few bashes his way, that's it. So Wolf, are you doing like your own SSF runs right now, or are you just like doing Project Ick? Oh, nice. You know what? I'm gonna duck this. Big Slassic, thanks for contributing. We'll see if we get there. 10 days, 500,000 channel points. Dude, that's wild, Village. What's it like? Are you doing like the seasonal event right now, Village, or are you playing just like normal? We got one, Monty. We're gonna see. So I have this channel event basically, and it's like if people spend their channel points to contribute to this, in 10 days we have to raise 500,000 points, and if we do, me and my wife Trolley are going to stream Champions of Norath. We'll do a full, we'll do a complete run. Rudy, EQ does not support it. It's strictly self-imposed, and really like the only reason that we can really say, you know what I mean, that we're holding to it is because I stream it, so everyone gets to see me delete these characters live every time I do something stupid. Echo, this server will eventually go all the way up to live. Right now it's locked into Dragons of Norath, so the one right after Omens of War. Yeah, unfortunately 2K a day is the max that anyone can contribute. Hey, do it, Monty. Every point helps. DM, so what you do is you just click on that Freeport Guard, the militia faction thing at the bottom left of chat, and you have a bunch of channel points that you've accumulated just by watching the channel over the last couple months. And every day you can contribute 2,000 of those points towards the Champions of Norath stream goal. Doesn't cost anything but time. Seeing a lot of folks get involved. Glad to see that. It's always nice. And then after we beat that, you know, assuming we make it, we'll do another one for Champions of Norath, Return to Arms. And then maybe we'll play through both of those. Hey, let me know, by the way, if that laugh is too loud. I know people were saying it was pretty loud last time, so I dialed it down quite significantly since then. That's good. So Chinchilla, what level did you get to during the Dayak event? Do tell. That's good. Sorry about it being crazy. Oh, Lexicon, summon Interrupt. You got it, dude. Nice. Ooh, he resisted my soothe. Sir, calm down, please. We got the barkeep ad. Okay. Should be good still. So I got my Bone Dancer to 42. I was gonna play last night, but then I ended up just, you know, doing family time. I would not say I regretted it, but you know what I mean. I think it'll be fun actually to do like 43 to 50 on PvE content, because I basically haven't seen any PvE content at all. I did like my whole character that way. I might not have enough mana to kill him. Gonna see how much we can do with the dot here. Local lore lexicon and Rico with the strange underground area. Rico, I think the strange underground area in Everfrost Peaks that you're talking about is Miragul's little area. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there was supposed to be an extra dungeon in yeah, we're in a tight spot now. Not enough mana to cast the spell. I think we have to run. What do we got over here? A werebat, a single werebat. Yeah, so Rico, there was supposed to be an additional dungeon in Everfrost Peaks, as originally conceived. It was going to be a dungeon for Miracle. It's going to be called, I want to say, Miracle's Menagerie. It was going to be all kinds of crazy stuff that he had created with his dark magics, and it was ultimately cut from the game. It was cut pretty early, so there wasn't a lot of remnants there, but they did add that little space where Miracle is for like epic purposes and other things, and that's kind of all we have left to view of that part of EQ, unfortunately. Monty, the back of this has like the 20th anniversary EQ like big symbol on it. takes up the entire back. Yeah, Chinchilla, we'll definitely group. I want to put something together. It's just a matter of finding time. Nice, that's crazy. I heard trade skills are really good on here, so should be good. They did do the Eldon, you know, way later, so I don't know. I've never done pretty much any of the Eldons. I really don't know anything about them, other than reading about them. I know there's like an Eldon zone in over there somewhere. What's going on, Nick? Good to see you. Hey, so Lexicon, the local lore on Unrest. This area that we're in, Dagnor's Cauldron, which is right outside of Unrest, is considered like a holy place for most of the races on Fadewar, and even some races that we don't associate with Fadewar right now because they were kind of like cut. But basically, when the gods were first meeting to talk about putting life on Norath, it was Brel, Tunair, Ralos Zek, and Prexis, and they met at Dagnor's Cauldron because at the time that region of Norath had something that represented all of them. Ralos Zek refused to be part of the deal, but the other three all made races, you know what I mean? And for that reason, this area is considered like a holy place for all these people, which translated into it being like a war zone, you know what I mean? Like all the races who thought this was sacred land fought over it pretty intensely. And for that reason, eventually a priest of Quellius was attracted to come here. And what he did was he founded a small little church. And the whole thing with him was he wanted to create a space that was free of conflict. Anybody, regardless of what god they worship, could come there and be at peace, be at ease. And it worked, and it became really popular. And all the different races, even like orcs and stuff, would come there. And while they were there, everything was good. Eventually, there's like a few different cannons here, and it gets split up with Unrest. But his chapel that he built is what we now see as the basement of Unrest. It's that smaller, more like stone architecture down there in that rough area. Later, a family like built like a nice mansion on top. But the key part here is that there was a necromancer who wanted to come in and destroy all this, you know what I mean, and wreck the church as an attack on Quellius. But the priest had put a ward on the area so that no one who wished him harm could come into the area. So what the necromancer did was he possessed the body of a traveling dwarf, Garanol Ruxif, and entered the place inside that guy's body. So he was able to bypass the ward. And then at night, while everyone slept, he murdered everybody. Rather than letting the necromancer leave and get away with it, Quellius came down herself, severed the necromancer's tie to his own body, so his body became just like a comatose thing out there on its own, and trapped him in the body of that dwarf, who became a ghost. And now he is literally the ghost that is Garanol Ruxif, rather than the actual Garanel in the basement. And that's him, you know, he's imprisoned there eternally. He lacks all his power and most of his mind, so he's kind of cursed by Quellius. So that's local lore Unrest. What's going on, Camdolf? Good to see you. Yeah, Zythan, Dayak got big. Let me see, do I have a lot of crap to sell? Not really. We need to redo our buffs now. Oh, I see. Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit. The big EXP event that was going on the classic Dark Age of Camelot server we were on ended today. Ended at like 10 a.m. this morning. And most of the folks who were playing with us got to like 45 out of 50, so really good levels. Nick, I probably would say we could level them tomorrow. I'm not, what's tomorrow? Tuesday? I'm not streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow would be a good day. Great. Merch here, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, as I think there's a classic Dayak server. Jump in, get grinding up there with us. We'll probably make more characters if we like it and stick with it. Right, yeah, it's the biggest emulator. It's not perfectly classic. It's a lot faster than like Daok used to be back in the day, which is good for our purposes because we don't have the time we used to. And if I did have the time, I would be putting it more into EQ and streaming rather than Daok, to be honest with you. But it is a lot of fun. I think there's another emulated server called Uthgard, which is like a lot more classic in terms of like the time investment required to do things there. So, dude, Chichilla, I'm talking about it, man. Like, I really love old MMOs. That's why I really wish there was a way for us to play Rubies of Eventide. Basically, like, I barely know anybody who's even heard of that MMO. I would love to be able to show you guys Rubies of Eventide, but some crazy shit went down at the end of that MMO's lifespan. And like the owners took it down and vowed to never let anyone play it again. And here we are. Like, I think the original people who ran the game have passed away and ownership has passed to their kids. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty confident the people who owned it passed away now. And their kids now own it and are respecting their wishes that no one ever get to play it again. It's a P99 like thing, Zaide. If you look at our Discord, I have a little section down there now that says like Dark Age of Camelot, and there's a setup guide there for you. Oh man. For Sarah, I never did play Ultimate. It was a little bit before my time, unfortunately. Yeah, so here's like the dream, right? EQ Online Adventures emulator up and running, and Vanguard emulator up and running. I would love to play either of those. Ideally, not at the same time. You know what I mean? So like, let's have one come out, and then a year later we'll have the other one come out. Where's Secrets? We need Secrets in the chat. Secrets, go make it happen. Only you can save us from boredom. The problem with the Vanguard thing is I just think they don't have like packet captures. You know what I mean? They don't have the database or anything. So they're really going off a lot of memory. Where at least with EQ, a lot of the data had been actually captured in very concrete ways over the years, and is to some extent still available, maybe not in its purest form like classic-wise. Yeah, I know, right? Lost, Secrets is involved in everything. I think Secrets is busy right now. He's making his own server, Classless 3.0. That's going to be coming out sometime this year, hopefully in February. So I think get in there, dude. Save us. You could be what this community needs. I didn't even know there was an EQ2 emulator, to be honest. So many games I need to play, man. Like, I want to give EQ2 a fair shake, too. I played it, I think I've tried EQ2 2 separate times, and both times I didn't like it. But I'm determined to try it, like, one last time. I got you, Lost. Actually, Zythan, any chance you can permit Lost the War? I want to just take off the auto mod of links, but I swear every time I take it off within like 1 week, we get raided by bots or some nonsense that post a bunch of spam links in here. All right, Lost, you can post whatever it was that got ruined. See, I think that might be my problem. I think I need to approach EQ2 not as Everquest. You know what I mean? I need to approach it as a totally fresh MMO that is not really related to Everquest at all. Because I always just look at it like, okay, this is Everquest that I'm playing, and then when it's not Everquest, really basically at all, that's when I like decide I don't like it. I just accept that they use Everquest names, but that's it. You know what I mean? That's what I should do. hag. Oh, double werebat. Okay. Interesting. They're doing EQ2. They were the guys who did EQ PvP. I wonder what's motivating them to do that. Dude, the best part about fighting these hags is they can't bash me, so they're not going to interrupt. Normally, like, I wait for a mob to come out that door, and then it rushes towards me, and as soon as it gets to me, it lands a bash, interrupts whatever I'm casting. So I basically have to wait for it to get into melee range to start my next spell. I don't even need to do this. My dot will kill this hag. I don't even remember what class I played in EQ. EQ2, to be honest. That's the best part about them. They die so fast. How close am I leveling? Oh, we're really close. We're like a kill away. Naturally. He's like standing inside the ghoul here. I don't think Soothe is powerful enough to stop that aggro. Meditate for a second to see if he moves a little bit. Yeah, I've been watching, I think No Mercy's stream is what's been getting me a little bit more interested in doing EQ2 content, to be honest with you. I've been watching it and I've been enjoying his stuff. It looks good, like the visuals, I enjoy it. It's just not Everquest, like I said. I'm gonna try it. We're gonna try it one of these days. Yeah, it's like Goodman said, we need like an overhaul mod to just remove all of the Everquest references. Oh, come on, Lost. You think we don't already have the apron? I guess I'm just gonna soothe this guy and pull someone else. Oh, he resisted? You know what? Let's see what we get. There's always a chance that this doesn't go poorly. No, it went poorly. See, I'm gonna get bashed. Oh, they missed the bash, okay. Yeah, maybe you need to just go in like with a group of people right off the bat, or you either that or you. This is bad. This is a bad time to be rooted when we're like out of mana. You gotta go in with a group of people that you bring yourself, or you need to start like on a fresh TLP launch, because I know they do Everquest 2 progression servers. I just don't know if they're any good. I've heard bad things about them. My health isn't low, but I'm just not doing anything to this guy. How much mana do I need for DA? 10. Okay, so we can pretty much like go to the end on this. I think I'm just gonna DA. Like I don't see this happening. I don't know. I want to try it. I don't even have 2 nukes. Do I have another dot? 78 man. I have 1 dot. A dot will technically do more than a nuke. I need to just heal myself. Oh, I confirmed. Well, somebody confirmed for me, Goodman, that I cannot do the origin thing. I didn't personally try it though, to be fair. Wow, I can't believe we did that. I thought I was gonna have to DA and run. I was getting really beat up there. Yeah, Zaide, this is a Sparks UI layout now. Sacred. Hey, dude. Thanks so much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Yeah, man, I really enjoy this UI. You know, I really like the Dracochrome UI, but it's been nice to switch it up now. And this is a very, very minimalist UI. Like, if you look at the bottom right, I have my whole inventory and stuff over there. If I can ever remember to use it instead of opening my raw inventory. So there's a lot of benefits to this. All right, we're 28 guys. Hey, thanks, Sacred. I didn't know you watched. I'm humbled. Big, Sacred, Pantheon dev in the chat. Direct all your Pantheon questions to him quick. Chase him out. Yeah, I do need the classic gems and stuff. Rico, you know what kind of gems I do have, though? Still not classic. But we do have gems. Rip. We might still be able to break this room. Like, we're a little bit behind because we were messing around with some stuff, but I think I'll be able to just solo this room the rest of the time if I want. I think you're right, Chinchilla. The problem is 4 of those emotes I just made myself, and like now I look at them and I think except for the frog lock, I hate them all. You know what I mean? I need to redo them all. Nick, thanks for contributing to our Champions of Norath fund. We're well on our way. 8% raise. So there's our first respawn. I almost may as well, like, just wait till I'm full mana and, like, go at it again. I don't know. None of these guys are still soothed. Ooh, 2 light blues, feeling bad. We might not get that back dry bones because of the tables in between us. They might block line of sight. We'll see. It didn't work, folks. We were wrong immediately. He's gonna warp. Door warp ink. He didn't even warp in front of me. He just said, I will be where you are. Hey man, just a green con mob successfully landing his first attempt to root me with 65 MR. No big deal. Switch to this dry bones now. Thanks, Drogmeat. I'm glad you like me. Yeah, Goodman, it is. You can't, I'm pretty sure you cannot like see through that table. Like if I was trying to cast on something on the other side, but when he runs across, they might somehow aggro. I mean, they must, right? Something's going on there. What'd I get? An Ebon Dagger and a Fine Steel Grey Staff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, EQ doesn't care about resists. Rico, thank you so much for the sub. I'm glad you're enjoying this content enough to support the stream. Very much appreciated. Just a reminder for you folks, last week, Friday, yeah, like a couple days ago, we had our first giveaway on the stream. We gave away the Everquest Gold Edition tin, which is like the 5th anniversary box or something when it came out. So Big Duskra won that when he was here. If you're interested in future giveaways and things of that nature, we're going to be doing one the second Friday of every month. I'm going to be giving away real Everquest loot, so like cloth maps, Everquest big boxes, action figures, who knows, right? All kinds of stuff. Some of the books, some of the old guides, the full color Maps of Mirrors, Planes of Power map book that came out. All of those are on the table. So look forward to some of that. If you want to be involved in that, make sure you're in the Discord so that you can get in there and jump in some of those giveaways. Not going to give away the TMT arcade cab, though. I don't know. Maybe if we had like 2,000 subs, I would give it away. My wife might get mad at me. There's actually a funny story about how I got that. PoE, you know, Zaide and I never played PoE. Never played it once. I know it's really big though. Yeah, I saw the Coast stream, Leok. It was good. I liked it, you know. LOL. The new guy. So when I got that TMT arcade, it was supposed to be a Christmas present, but at the time I lived in an apartment still, and I was walking home, and the apartment next to us, no one lived in it, and there was this massive box outside of it, and I could see the box. It wasn't like covered or anything. It said, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade cabinet on it, and I was like, oh man, like my neighbor is really lucky because I wanted that too. And then I was like, wait a second, I don't have a neighbor. I went in the house and I talked to my wife. I'm like, hey, I don't want to ruin Christmas or anything, but the people who don't live next door have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade cabinet outside their door. I don't know if you want to take care of that or something. She was like so mad. So I do like the old school Diablo games, but every time I watch like PoE, it looks so crazy. They're just crushing through like 99 mobs a second. You know what I mean? It's like hyper meta version of Diablo. Oh, critical fail. Okay. We actually have to ditch this. I don't have enough mana to kill both. What do we have waiting for us in here? Time to jump, boys. This stuff probably won't even come out. It'll get stuck in like a pathing loop and just give up. Oh, really? I didn't even know that, Berserk. Like, it's that deep on the meta, huh? You dropped a frame. Suboptimal gameplay now. Start over. What do I know about Guk? All right. Juzum Tim. Yo, Ghost. Yeah, dude, Ghost, it's funny. Your static group spent a while in this zone, I think, right? Back when Big Mittens was tanking. I don't know, Zythan. You could try. Some of my old pals tried to get me to play That game with guns, you know what I'm talking about? No, Siege. Try to get me to play Siege. Rainbow Six for like 2 years. I never gave in. Alright, so what do I know about Guk? Guk was originally the stronghold of the trolls. That was the original troll city. The Froglocks were enslaved there, and it was ruled by the warlord Yakesha, who was believed to be the prophesized chosen one. And this goes all the way back to the Grosmok Stone, basically. Khazak Thul created the trolls. Maybe I'm going too far back for you here, Juzum, but I'm just going to do the whole thing. So Khazak Thul created the trolls. And then Inaruk, never content to, his own creations or anything like that, Inaruk's like, yeah, I know you created the trolls, but I'm going to take those guys. So he made some of the trolls worship him. And he gave a vision to one of the trollish shamans. And the vision was written on the Grosmok Stone. It had to be written in blood. And when it was done, the prophet who gave the vision, or who had the vision, died. But no one knows exactly what it says. But it says something about a chosen troll who's going to unite all the trolls underneath his banner and lead the trolls to, great glory and stuff. And over the years, the trolls warred constantly to see who would own this Grosmok Stone. Now, the stone eventually came under the control of the warlord Yakesha, who beat all other trolls and all other armies who attempted to oppose him. So he was seen as the chosen. And then they enslaved the Froglocks, right? They're living in Guk at this time. After a while, a group of pirates from an island off the coast of Antonica, Broken Skull Rock, I want to say, came in and they attempted to steal the Grosmok Stone from warlord Yakesha. Now, warlord Yakesha, over the years, as he faced less and less resistance, he became more and more paranoid. He was easy, it was easy for him to fight things on the battlefield and crush them. But when no one was opposing him, he just was left to his thoughts, and he was kind of seeing threats everywhere, even though they weren't there. So he went crazy, and he was like living in a fortress down in Guk. And I want to say he actually was like staying in the fort in Lower Guk on the live side. You know what I'm talking about? So anyway, he was always crazy. But they snuck in one night and they stole the Grosmok Stone, and all this chaos erupted. And as the chaos erupted, warlord Yakesha was nowhere to be found. And at the same time, the Froglocks rose up and attacked, and everything went south all at once for the trolls, and they were forced out of Guk. They went and established Grob, now absent warlord Yakesha, so they were much, much weaker. And the Froglocks, for their part, took over Guk and held it pretty much forever after that. I mean, they're still there today, so, Yeah, Ghost, I'll get in the Siege one day. I know, Zythan, right? It's kind of weird. But anyway, so the Froglocks, boom, they're living in Guk. Things are good. The trolls occasionally will attack Guk. There's conflicts back and forth. Sort of to be expected, though. So eventually, one young troll shaman goes in. Either there's different reports. Either they snuck in or they just went in on a wild rampage, made it all the way to the depths of Guk. And they're fighting all these Froglocks. And it's clear that this troll is going to die, but before she dies, she says a prayer to Inaruk and she asks him not to save her or anything, but just to lash out and kill all these Froglocks. So what she does basically is she opens up a portal to Inaruk's cauldron. Man, this guy's putting out a lot of damage right now. Inaruk's cauldron opens up, steals the souls of all the Froglocks around her, and they become undead. And it becomes an undead plague that afflicts the Froglocks forever. For her part, she dies too. But the worst part of all this is after that happened, much of Lower Guk was lost, right? They just had to kind of close it off as much as possible because the legions of Froglocks there couldn't be completely stopped. But the hero of the Froglocks, the one who led the rebellion against the trolls, their greatest warrior, Hoptor Thagalum, was never seen after that. Some people say that Hoptor himself was turned into a ghoul. Now, we as players, we can say with pretty high level of confidence that Hoptor actually is the Ghoul Lord. Why can we say this? Because the thing that's significant about Hoptor is he stole Warlord Yakesha's sword when they were rebelling against the trolls taking over Guk. The Ghoul Lord drops the short sword of Yakesha. So that's our big hint. that the Ghoul Lord is the legendary Froglock hero, Hop-Torthaglim. Anyway, Juzum, I hope that's enough Guk lore for you. What did I think of the new Pantheon stream? Monty, it's good. I mean, like, I appreciate that they put together an area that is kind of like a test bed for investors to go check out. Investors, publishers, whatever, you know what I mean? And to get a snapshot of what Pantheon is all about in one quick session. Watching it with Ko was cool. I think Ko spent a little bit more time reading like things lying around the room than I would have liked. But that's coming from me as a person who's watched a million Pantheon streams, you know what I mean? And played a lot of MMOs. I could see why, if you're maybe more business side, that might be better. What is my favorite piece of lore in EQ? That's rough for Sarah. Man, for Sarah, you don't have any points to redeem? You're like always in the chat, man. Yeah, I feel you there, Monty. I'd like to see them dial that back a little bit and get more into the gameplay right away. Trolley streams. Thanks, Trolley. Oh, okay. I see, Versailles. I see. I think Trolley is rooting against the Champions of Norath pledge. She's like, when I made that, she was like, I don't want to play that game. Or to be more accurate, I think she said, I did not agree to that. Yeah, Money. I think it would have been good. Maybe, and you know, hey, I'm just a dude, right? I don't know anything about game development, but I think it might have been good to like start out with a combat section, like really early on, like a very basic one, and then roll into some of the other stuff, and then you get the more in-depth combat later. It's almost like front-loaded with all the visual stuff and all like the walkthrough tutorial kind of things, but you don't get a taste of what really playing the game is about. And certainly there's more to games like Pantheon than combat, but when you think about gameplay, the first thing you think about is combat. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing that your mind jumps to immediately. Adventuring and exploring is great, and it's super important for longevity, but the first thing people think about when they think about gameplay is definitely going to be combat. And so I think it should have been featured a little bit earlier. That could also just be Ko, you know what I mean? If you just rush through and jump right to it, you might see it sooner. All right. Soothe this noble. It's good to hear that, Village, that, like, it's good to know in advance that someone has to go healer for the second one. Because I would have assumed that you did not need to do that. LOL, Noob Cake. Good to see you. Oh man, have fun with Temple of Ishan. Yuck. TOV with MOTM is such a slog. Alright, but you said you wanted to hear my favorite piece of lore. Dude, I think I really love the lore of the Shisar. Like the green mist and them going to the plains. I think it's just so cool. All of the Luckland lore, to be honest, man. Like Lord Inquisitor Saru's lore, where he's like built this little chamber where basically time doesn't pass for him because he is so bent on revenge. He will wait 1,000 years just so that he could be the person who marches into Kata and kills Elsiakata, or the leader of the old loyalists himself, you know what I mean? He wants it that bad. Or like the Shisar who traveled the plains and killed gods, and that's why like Empress Raja has the sword that when you identify it, it says it's the Shrajan's sword of god slaying. It's so cool, and it's very lore rich, so I've always loved the Luckland lore. You have access to a fungi and you want to decide between a Shadow Knight and a Shaman. It's been 10 years since I played. Having a hard time picking. I would tentatively... Forrest, can you tell me two things? Do you mostly plan to solo, or do you want to group? And what did you play back in the day, 10 years ago? Kunark lore is really good too. Hey, Big Showtime, thanks for showing up and contributing to our challenge there. I like Kunark lore. I think the whole Ring of Scale bit and the way it ties into the Velius lore and the classic lore is really good. Like there's a really awesome way it's all interconnected. Like you learn that Lady Vox and Lord Nagafen are actually outcasts from the Ring of Scale, who themselves were rebels from the Claws of Vishan. You know what I mean? It's so intertwined. And then learning about the various stages of the Ixar Empire and their fall, it's also rich. And so much of the later lore of EverQuest is actually rooted in Kunark, like the Shisar lore itself. You know, the Shisar primarily based out of Kunark, even though they traveled all over Norath at one time. I don't know if Tony was. Oh, that sucks. Showtime. Thank you, dude. Big Showtime rocking like 150 subs now. Showtime, when are you gonna get that EverQuest download going, dude? You promised my viewers that you would play EverQuest. If you're soloing, I would definitely go Shaman, 100% Force. And I think Shaman's going to be closer to a mage than a Shadow Knight would be. Like, neither of them is a really great approximation, but the Shadow Knight gameplay will be a lot different. Yeah, the Shaman, like the Fungi Tunic's always just going to be great the whole way. Had my fingers misaligned on the keyboard there, just spamming auto attack on and off. I don't think we'll ever see that, Showtime. Appreciate the thoughts and prayers, though. Hey, thanks, Monty. Oh, have I been into the Soul series? Outside of EverQuest, Monty, the Soul series is my favorite Soul series. Or, sorry, it's my favorite video game. I've beaten Dark Souls 1 like 10 billion times. And all the other ones too. Like, a lot of times, maybe like once every 3 months now, I'll get together with some friends and we'll actually go back and redo Dark Souls 1. We'll race through it as fast as we can, doing all bosses and stuff. Everything that From Software has put out in the last like 10 years has been just awesome. I'm ready. If you have Dark Souls 1 lore requests, I'm ready to take them on. I'm not as good as EQ, but I'm no Vadi Vidya, but I'll do my best. Right. I love the way they deliver their story, and I wish more games did it. It's so understated, and it's so much about like you have to explore it yourself. I always look at EverQuest, and in fact, I'll say this: playing Dark Souls has changed the way I look at EverQuest, because I look at like let's look at Carnal Pauldrons, right? Carnal Pauldrons drop from what, the Kobold like priest or something in Soul B. Yeah, Kobold priest, Soul B, great. So you look at that, okay? He's a Kobold priest. In a lot of religions, there are stipulations about what priests can do romantically, right? Now he's a Kobold priest, he drops the Carnal Pauldrons. That tells us that maybe he stepped outside the bounds of his own like requirements per his religion. Now we don't get to see a lot about the religion of kobolds in EQ because it just wasn't written. And in fact, if you read the EQ RPG books, we know that the kobold priest in this case worships Nagafen. He worships Lord Nagafen, oddly enough. So it might not all fit together perfectly like that. But that's just the kind of thing that you do after playing a bunch of Dark Souls, because that's what you have to do to understand any of the lore in Dark Souls, pretty much. Oh, hey, can we get a permit for Monty, please? Sorry about that, Monty. I have like an auto mod that deletes links in chat if they're not permitted first. Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess with that. It's a little too sensitive, I suppose. It gets weird if there's like a dot between two words. It basically interprets it as like website.com kind of status, you know what I mean? So if you forget a space after a period, sometimes it'll just trigger it. Big Nullify. Trying to make Trolley play Champions in Norath. Thank you. My fastest runtime on Dark Souls. So hey, I want to preface this now with I am not good at Dark Souls. I just really love it. I think my fastest time is like 4 hours. So I'm not a speedrunner by any means. Maybe it was like 3 hours. I don't know. When we used to do it very frequently. But I've done like soul level 1 runs and everything, basically like Dark Souls, where you don't level up at all. You just take your starting character, which has to be a pyromancer because they're the only class that starts at level 1, and you never level up a single time. You just play all the way through. How we doing on buffs here? Redo them all the time. Dang, Ghost, DS2? Ghost, are you doing DS2 or are you doing Scholar of the First Sin DS2? Dang, Nullify, you see Trolley throwing some shade at you in chat, man? You just gonna let that stand? Yeah. Some writing styles can be hard to like get through at first. If you've ever read the Black Company by Glenn Cook, his was like that. Like the first time I picked up the first book of the Black Company, I read like 2 pages and I was like, I hate this book. I'm not gonna read it. And then like a year later, I just tried it again randomly and I forced myself through like the first chapter. And once I got used to his style, I really, really loved it. He has like a really weird style. And in fact, his is very minimalist. Like he's a fantasy writer. He writes like dark fantasy, but he, if there's like a battle, he just like skips it. He'll be like, the enemy came, there was a battle, and we won. And you're like, what? You're so, you know, if you read like Forgotten Realms kind of fantasy, you're so used to having like every sword stroke mapped out for you in the page. But it was really refreshing to really focus on like only large scale events and stuff like that. And more about like the feelings of the people who had gone through some of the things. Man, chat dropping all the good book recommendations. You guys need to, we need to set up a book section in the Discord so that we can drop some book recommendations there because I need to do some more reading. So Monty, are you working on another game now, or are you able to talk about it? I know sometimes, you know, you're not able to really divulge if you're working on an unreleased video game. All right, guys, I just added a book discussion and a movies and television discussion to our Discord while I was at it. I didn't like fancy them up yet, but they're there in the general section for people who are talking about books because I'm actually interested in following up on some of this. And Twitch chat is not the best vehicle for me to go back after the stream and like grab some of the books you guys were talking about. This guy's got to be due for a response soon. 4 minutes away about. Oh, that's pretty cool. PS5 game. VR software engineer now for a large utility company in the US. That's pretty fascinating. Do you enjoy it? Do you find that like pretty fulfilling? See, I like this monk. He didn't warp through the door. He did it legit. He just walked through after some difficulties. Right, yeah, I get it, totally. You know, I've been recently I've like been messing around with some like technical stuff. I mean, nothing like what you're doing, I'm sure, but I just messing around in Blender and animating things and building some stuff. And it's very challenging and very tedious and time consuming, so I can only imagine how hard some of the stuff must be. Are you willing and or able to tell us anything about your title? I don't know if Nick's still in the chat. If you remember Nick from the Pantheon days, he is also working on his own video game right now, and it looks pretty dang cool. All right, Zaide, don't get sucked into going for the Hag Tower. We have this whole room finally broken. Don't waste the mana. Here's our barkeep. Just gotta meditate to like 50 or so. It'll be good. Troll or Ogre Shaman? All right, Force. So chat is going to tell you to go Ogre because Ogre is the superior option from a min-max perspective. That's what chat's going to tell you. Technically, they are right. But here's what I'll say. Trolls are way cooler than Ogres. You should play a Troll. You have regen, it's dope. It works well with Canny. And Frontal Stun immunity, while incredibly powerful and never replicated anywhere else in the game, pretty much, you'll have to look like an Ogre, which I consider a huge racial penalty. Be a Troll, use classic models, enjoy that regen, stack it with your Funky Tunic, you'll be a beast. And the stats are pretty dang good anyway. Not that much worse than the Ogre. What's up, Heretic Ramza? You know what I'm talking about. Heretic, would you say Ogre or would you say Troll? Can I cast on this guy here? This will test it out. Does this block line of sight? Look, I can't see my target there. What's up, barkeep? Don't mind me. Warp. Oh, walk through. XR for life. Yo, XR is pretty dang good, man. Get the AC bonus and stuff. Can't argue with that. But I think Troll is a little bit cooler than XR. Certainly XR before Ogre, though. The other big thing is if you were to go Barbarian, let's just say, like totally off the rails, if you go Barbarian, you get to wear a bear hat. I mean, you might scoff at it, but a bear hat is not nothing. Yeah, honestly, if you are soloing, which you said you were, the ogre frontal stun immunity will be huge. A lot of times you'll get stunned while you're trying to cast critical spells during combat when you're soloing. The ogre just will not have to deal with that problem pretty much at all. What's going on, Crack Dog? Good to see you, man. Crack Dog, don't think I forgot. I do still owe you a raid one of these days. I'm gonna get there. I had a backlog of folks I needed to hit up. Hey, thanks, dude. Can you tell the difference? Even with this tiny little square over here, this is the A5100 finally, at long last. Yeah, Monty. Let's get you a permit link again before you do. Yeah, feel free to post them in Discord as well. So Heretic, you are correct. You could still get interrupted. You just can't get stunned. So frontal stun immunity, you're right, and interrupt is different. The only thing is like even me right now, a lot of times I'll just channel through damage, because if it's not stunning you, then it's just calculated as a normal damage versus your channeling skill, pretty much, which is not that hard to beat after the first few levels, usually. But most of the time, Bash has that, even a minor, like instant stun, interrupt. So that's why people think of it that way, but you are correct. You could still get interrupted by just the raw damage, not even of just a bash, but just a melee swing. Hey, thanks. I feel like I'm like orange right now in my icon. Like when I look at the camera, it's crisp, but on Twitch, it's like a little meh. Something I have to work on at another point. Crack Dog, thank you so much for the sub. Dude, you don't have to do that. Got me over here feeling bad. Appreciate your support, as always. A little Donald Trumpy. Oh no. There we go. Now it's like a little bit, it's a little bit like the center of an Oreo now. Hey, thanks, Crack Dog. Are you still, you're still out in Japan, right? Force Access, thank you so much for the follow. Are you ever coming back to the United States one of these days? Dang, this guy just worked. Movement, skill-based puzzle game. Open, explorable areas with puzzles, insanely huge environments. Sounds kind of like a very large Portal, like that kind of game. Sounds like something Charlie would like to play. She loves puzzle games. So Heretic Ramsa, I think maybe I've asked you this before, but I always see your name and it always makes me really want to ask you this. Have you played the Final Fantasy Tactics mod? It's like 3.18 or something. It's like a difficulty mod that makes the game have a dynamic difficulty. So if you like grind to get a bunch of levels, the enemies you fight and all your subsequent like story battles are also much more difficult too. They gain levels with you basically. Oh shit, DC man, doing big things. Hope you're safe over there, bud. Hey, Forrest, jump in our Discord and let us know how your progress is with the Shaman. Excited to see how you do. And hey, what server are you on? You know, Monty, I think a lot of people really underestimate how important lore is. Like, the gameplay will suck you in, right? Gameplay first and foremost, of course. But I think lore is a big part of what keeps people there. It's what makes the world feel deep and fulfilling. So it's just really important. Dark Age of Camelot is my favorite example of this. I always played Everquest back in the day, and DAOC, Daok, came out, and I tried it, and I really loved the gameplay of Daok, but there was just a shallowness to it. Everquest just had this depth, you know what I mean, in comparison that Daok could never match. And I would always play Daok, have a little fun, and then after a week or two, I would go back to Everquest just because there was something that kept dragging me back, and Daok really didn't have that. I say that even as I shill this classic Daok server like every stream, but still, there's like, I can't name a city. I've been playing Dark Age of Camelot for like the last week nonstop, trying to get a level 50, a few level 50s in, and I still can't name a single city. I can't name like anything in the game, even though I've been playing it so much. But you could like quiz me, and I could probably name every classic Everquest zone off the top of my head. You know what I mean? Everquest just has that lore, that depth. It's that much more memorable. So people always like underestimate how important that is, but man, it's critical. At least for nerds like me, it is. Dang, what happened in here, man? I was gone for like 1 minute. It's popping in here now. Jordheim. I don't even know if that's real, but it sounds like a Daok name, so I'll believe you, Chinchilla. Hey man, you picked an exciting time to work in DC too, dude. Like honestly, that's kind of what you want, you know what I mean? It makes your career so much more interesting. Right, yeah, to be fair, yeah, I played a little bit of Everquest. Okay, you're doing it on Air Dune. Yeah, so it won't be too tough. Shaman will be fun, and the prospects for a Shaman getting a guild should be really good, like, forever. People always want Shamans, so it'll be good for you, Force Axis. Valk, I can set it up. You'll have to hit me up in the Discord about it, because I don't even know what I would need to do to get that going. But I am willing to do it. It would be kind of cool. Does Daok even have zones? I don't remember if I even hit zone lines in Daok, to be honest with you. It feels kind of weird. Like, now that I think of it, I don't even know. Unless I'm, like, specifically teleporting, like, fast traveling, I don't know that I see zone lines in Daok. Hey, catch you later, Crack Dog. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thanks again for the sub and your support. I really want to do some of the dungeons. The one, actually, it's funny I say this now. The one thing I do remember from Daok is the one dungeon that you can own, like your realm can own it, Darkness Falls. It's like PvP lets you control it or something. I remember it because it was so awesome, and you know, the name actually stands out. Lexicon, Summon, Estrella. Oh, cool. Here you go. I'll try to get a few rounds in. No pun intended. So now that we're getting like a pile of level 40 to 50 characters on that Daok server, I'm excited to do some of the raid content. I basically know nothing about Daok PvE raids. I think like each realm has a dragon you can kill, so I'm excited to do that. Right, there's like chunking or whatever they call it nowadays. Ooh man, 40% there, pretty much. One of these days we're gonna get level 29 and then we'll be free of unrest for a couple levels. We'll come back and go to the basement. LOL, Zyathan. I am a boomer, pretty much. No longer a 20-year-old, sadly. Shame. When is my new undead nuke? That's good to know. I think it's like early 30s. 33, I get Expel Undead. 200 damage nuke, between 200 and 300 damage. So Expel Undead will be a huge buff for us. My favorite looking Epic 1.0? Man, it's hard to argue against the lightsabers, right? Like everyone remembers that. That's when I knew there was epics, when I saw lightsabers in the tunnel for the first time. Fiery Avenger was cool. Or sorry, Fiery Defender, the actual epic, but man, lightsabers were really awesome back in the day. That's crazy, Liak. You must have been really into RVR, yeah?
I'm sorry.
So that's like the there's like these things you can get in Dark Souls you throw on the ground and they say words to people. You say I'm sorry like when you kill someone, or you say like thank you. That insult to injury kind of thing. Mage Epic is hard to get, man. It's probably one of the hardest epics still on TLP outside of like a few, like I think the Enchanter Epic is pretty rough right now, and maybe the Wizard Epic, depending on how, you know, how blocked it is on your particular server. But Mage Epic is just like hard at the group level, you know what I mean? You gotta get Quillmane, you gotta get all the staffs that are pretty tough to get. The Plane of Hate drop is not super common. What do you mean, Norok? My brain's too smooth to understand. Like people just sell you all the stuff you need nowadays so you don't have to go do it yourself. Don't mind me. Hey, we resolved the whole dot. Sweet. Yeah. Okay. I can see it that way, Nora. Yeah, I don't know, dude. The Rogue Epic, the Freebringer. I mean, if you have a guild, right, it's super easy. Rogue Epic 2.0 is like one of the hardest epics ever, though. Super challenging. Uh-oh, we're encumbered, folks. Not quite that low, but yeah, I mean the Ragebringer is like known as the easiest epic, the easiest classic epic. Man, I can tell you way back in the day, like especially before instances, we used to make so much chrono for the guild bank, selling those crowns from Plane of Sky, because so many guilds were not able to get to the appropriate island to farm them at that point. And even after that, all your mage bots, you know what I mean, back in the day, the bot teams didn't want to deal with death touches and stuff. When warp was disabled, they couldn't just pop up there and farm them. Yep. Good old Verena Tomb and Vessel Droslin. Wizard has what, Broken Golem? I think they should return the epics to their old format. So there's only a couple on each server. Like I think the Wizards should have to get Skin of Khazak Thul, and it shouldn't drop until Kunark. I think the Dragon Scales shouldn't drop. I mean, I know Dragon Scales dropped back in the day, but like, you know what they should do? There should be no Dragon Hide from Vox. Vox should only drop the Dragon Scales. And that should be what they use for the White Dragon Scale Cloak. All right, let's gate out of here and go sell. Actually, we don't need a gate. I'll need a gate to come back, but yeah, we need to origin out of here and go sell. Right, you don't even really use the clicky effect from the Enchanter Epic. I wonder if that was intended or if that's just kind of like an oversight. Like if they were able to go back today and redo the Epic, would they put VOG on it instead? Versailles, we still need 60%, I want to say. Oh, okay, so, you know, 57%. Not super close. Uh-oh, I don't want to sell this. Hang on. Let me. Oh, geez, even our third back has items in it? I didn't realize. Boom, 50 plat. This one's gonna be nice. Bronze boots in there. $180 plat, we can buy one more ruby. Dude, this is the best starting area of all time. There's no area in Everquest that you could start in that has more flavor than the Kanos Aqueducts. Pretty soon, Berserk, I can't wait. I like Unrest, it's a cool dungeon, but whew, man, I've spent a little bit too much time in Unrest at this point. I'm ready to be free. Once we come back and we go to the basement, we get that like level 32 nuke, we'll be finished with Unrest really quickly because we'll just crush that stuff down there. Waiting for somebody to like stream snipe me in this arena one day. Arvis, after Unrest, we're going straight to Lower Guck. Yeah, you could do the smugglers and stuff. The EXP is actually really good. I mean, in a non-racing scenario, the EXP is really good. Like if you're trying to rush, obviously, you just can't even go that way, right? Because you're not a contender if you do. But other than that, and there are still some quest cheese options in Kanos. There are some quests that you can like spam infinitely in Kanos. I had a post on FOH about a few of them, and you could do a couple levels pretty quickly, even with the nerfed EXP. But then at the end, you're still in Kanos. You know what I mean? So, and if you want to race to 50, you cannot be in Kanos. That's a good question, Fellseeker. I don't know that the lore team and the design team were on the same team when they made that. You know what I mean? The Helm of Ryle, like the Helm of Ryle Sathir, the son of Venril, whose body is currently occupied by the spirit of Venril Sathir. Can I solo bedroom at that level? Yeah, Zaide, I think I can. I agree, Kanos is the best. Like, I like it the most, you know what I mean? So we gotta look in Lower Guck, right? Most of those tunnels, a troll could actually fit into, I think. They're like pretty wide, open, big areas. In the areas where they can't, might have been only used by slaves, like the Froglock slaves that were there. But that's just me trying to rationalize something that they, you know, probably just didn't consider when they originally did it. You guys ever see Fippy Darkpaw make it to the other side? Like, you ever see him make it past the gate guards and see what happens? Yeah, it could happen. So like, if you grab the guards and like pull them all away in a big train, and Fippy runs through and he makes it, he has a custom zone-wide shout. You know, he does this like, "You're ruining our lands," whatever he says. He says, "You humans will pay for ruining our homeland. Family Darkpaw, the Sabertooth clan will slay you all." When he hits the South Kanos zone line, past the Temple of Life, he does another shout with more custom text. And then he just kind of hangs out there, I think. I cast Gate one day, and I'm bound in Unrest. Oh, don't aggro me, Werebat. All right. Green Con feels bad, man. An ad spawned while he was waiting to get through the door. Thanks, door. Really did me a solid there. Syllabic, I just try to listen to lo-fi. I don't have a specific playlist, though I should make one. Tonight we've listened to DJ Cutman, and now we're listening to Mickle. DJ Cutman has like a stream playlist that you could play with no DMCAs. And then Mickle, we're listening to like basically a Pokemon lo-fi remix album. Zaide with the Fibbie Dark Paw summon. Here we go, in honor of his potential conquest of Kanos. Can we get one bandage in before we hit 70%? I doubt it. The last like 2 or 3 streams I was listening to, who was it? BK Knapp, but one of his songs, just one of them, flags me for a DMCA and they like mute my audio in that section. It's really annoying when I like upload it to YouTube, so I stopped streaming him, unfortunately. I think the whole like Twitch DMCA thing is kind of crazy. No one watches Twitch to like listen to their favorite songs, you know what I mean? It's not like you're going there as an avenue to hear certain music without paying the artist. And in fact, I would argue that there's a lot of songs I've heard for the first time and only been exposed to because of Twitch, because like people were playing them and I was like, man, that song's really good. What is that? And I'd look it up. And then I'd listen to it on their legitimate like Spotify and YouTube accounts, you know what I mean? And so by having this like big DMCA push against Twitch, it actually probably hurts the revenue of some of these artists, or the companies rather, that are doing it, right? Because the artists are usually not the people doing it. That's just my take, though. All right, where are we at on buffs? We're going to lose Symbol soon. Everything else is pretty good for right now. I don't even know if it's worth it to put magic resist on. Like, it just doesn't seem to matter at all right now. Right, yeah, it's the company. I get it. And the company sucks. Hey, what happened? I should have this spell focus here. Like, I can tell you, I've heard the song Smoko only through Bobby's stream. Never would have heard it before, and I listened to it like a million times. And then, man, what's that other artist? Smoko's not an artist, right? It's a song. But there's that one artist that does the Data and Picard song, Pogo. Man, I listened to a lot of Pogo, and I only heard it through Bobby's stream. EQ Obsessed. I'll check it out. I've heard a few EQ songs. Like I remember the Insidious Vision Sleeper song, and you know, Where's My Corpse and all that. Yeah, cat. I don't think I've heard the Harmonium Guild song. You gotta hit me up with it. I choose to believe that I will not have to deal with a respawn in here while I'm killing this mob, because I don't have the mana to take another mob right now. Yes. Everquest, always here to teach me a lesson. Can I get root up? Right. Got it. All right. I really don't want to just like run this to the zone line, you know what I mean? Once I've engaged in combat, I want to finish it if I can. All right, we're gonna root her. We're gonna let her come right here. Harvest, you should drop the link to the song in our Discord if you have it. Yeah, dude, the Triangle War, the whole faction setup in Velius was really cool. Honestly, it shows you what they could have done it and maybe wanted to do if they had had more time with the factions in Classic and Kunark. It's a shame that they were never able to like just go back and do that and have it, be fully realized, because I think that was kind of something that they wanted to be everywhere. Like, I think there could be and maybe should have been like a faction thing between Kanos, Freeport, and High Keep. Certainly between a lot of the other warring factions, because there's a lot of factions where it's like +1, -1, +1, -1 when you kill them. We do this route. Oh, resist? Please no. Ma'am, please stay there. And don't punch me through that wall. You gotta look at like some of the dungeons where they even have like merchants and vendors and stuff in there, you know what I mean, right from the get-go. Like all the goblin stuff. Is there a visual difference? I think there is on the hilt. I know Soulfire is a big difference. Like Soulfire, if you look at it, is like it's just a two-handed sword with fire animation on the blade. But then like Fiery Avenger, Fiery Defender don't have a blade. It's only fire. Like the blade is fire. Zaide, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Expanding your lead. 36. No, sorry. Big Zaide with 39 gifted subs in the channel. Alright, we should be good. Ooh, did she resist my route? I should be binding. Yeah, the defender has the Praxis symbol. David Nathsa says that the Avenger was just a bigger Soulfire. I thought the Avenger also had the no actual metal piece to the blade aspect. Resisted my route. Okay, I guess I'll melee you. If I ever got one of these paladins to level 50, we could like just pull them out and look at them, right? Okay, no metal blade, just fire. Thought so. It's actually something I don't like. I think it's weird to have like a sword that is only fire. Like it should be a sword that is on fire. Yeah, it's like some spell that was added, I guess. Sermon of the Righteous. It only works against undead mobs. Phase your target with Holy Light, causing between 72 and 79 damage to the undead every 6 seconds. 30 seconds. Just a necromancer thing. Actually, I didn't even know that it had a negative MR check until I looked at that. wonder if the nukes do. Let's check it out. Yeah, the nukes have a negative 50 check, but still. Earlier in the stream, I was spamming Smite against the Undead Knight of Unrest, not even realizing that I was using the wrong spell, because I had like moved my hotkeys around the combat before. It's like, oh geez, I'm about to die here. I really wish Symbol had a longer buff timer, because I feel like I'm always recasting Symbol. I just wish they were all aligned, you know what I mean? All on the same timer. It'd be a much better setup, so I don't have to manage them all. Yeah, you're right. I'm always so like forgetful about the level counter. We're halfway through it now. Once we hit 29, my goal is going to be like 40 different things. We need to make we need to track how much mana I have when I hit 29 and how much mana I have when I get all the gear that I plan to get at like 29 and 30 to see like the huge difference it makes. Oh yeah, Liak. I never touch it. I don't do a single thing to it. Like I do the things people ask. I give them the lore, or I summon the things on the screen and everything. But I never, ever, a single time, like clear it out. Thank goodness I have you mods. Keep me on track. Solo barkeep. Hopefully he stays solo long enough for me to pull him out of the room.
I'm sorry.
Got him. Dude, he's dual wielding? I don't think I've seen him dual wield before. He's getting that deeps now. How's it going, Dino? Hey. Dino, I saw you say earlier, way back in the beginning, that your favorite dungeon was Lower Guck, but what is your favorite Kunark dungeon? My favorite, like, raw dungeon is probably also Lower Guck, or just Guck in general. But at the time we were discussing Kunark dungeons, so I'm interested to see what yours is. Dude, I know it's crazy when like Nagafin dual wields, you know what I mean? Nowadays after an MOTM, you're like, oh shit, that's a lot of DPS at 4 AM for 30 people. Yeah, man, Karnors is so good. Getting your first T-Staff there. Camping Pawbuster. Nah, Revs, I would think so normally, but I've been camping this the whole time. He just spawned like that. Double Fine Steel. Seb's a good pick. I think I ruined Seb for myself a little bit because I've done so many like 24 to 30 hour marathons entirely in Seb. Those are the best bat phones, Norok. 100%. I don't even know if it'd be dicey anymore though with the cheese that people use nowadays. Like with the if you're gonna J-boot or AON the dragons down, you know what I mean? They're just so easy because they actually don't cast AEs. They don't cast spells at all. So just stand there and beat them up. Is that true? Is it worth more to break it down, Revs? I didn't even know that. Kunark era, Shadow Knight, best one-handed weapon. Noctivagant Blade? I don't know. I know the best weapon overall is the hammer from Nexona. Two-handed hammer. Some say it could even be better than the Epic. But I don't know what all their one-handed options are. What about that one weapon that was removed? Blade of the Black Dragon Eye? I don't recall the stats offhand. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? I need to stop mailing this guy. Ooh, that bash. Interrupting my nuke. Alright, we got a dip. I can't believe he actually made it outside. I thought I was going to lose him like in the stairwell. Big Versaire, now with the sub badge. Looks good on you. That frog block ghoul there. Oh man, Lady Nev, literally the worst part of TOV. The worst part of a bad raid. I assume Vulak is next, Versaire? See if we can't solo this guy with no mana, basically. Drop one dot on him. I think I'm actually going to be able to do it. Oh yeah, you do Vulak a different night, ostensibly so you could do more splits. Makes sense. Get more Doze loot, get more Vulak loot, the loot that actually matters. Well, I'll correct myself. No loot matters in Velius, but the best loot to be had at least. I wonder what... Chinchilla, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but if you are, what level did you stop meleeing, basically? I know you said there was a point where you just were no longer meleeing because it didn't do anything worth doing. I don't know, man. Watching our warriors tank Emsra with tattered armor changed my perspective on what matters loot-wise. When you move to basement. Okay, so like 28-ish. Man, you went to the basement at 28? Look at me, I'm slacking over here doing bar in Hag's Tower. I just don't know that I'm ready to handle all the werebats, man. A lot of werebats down there. I guess go check it out. There's a lot more hags in the basement, which means better EXP, basically. Watch, it might last like 40% before I get my new nuke. We're gonna go die in the basement of unrest. Ah, I see what you mean. You weren't having to like go into a fully spawned basement and just kind of like split it up fresh. Hey, congrats on surviving TOV Versailles. Yeah, I think I did a little bit of that on my paladin as well. And though, of course, with the paladin, like it's not as necessary because I could just beat him up with my melee a little bit. But I did that first paladin, you know what I mean, on Aerodune. So there was a lot of people messing around in the basement, and if there was something I didn't want to kill, someone else would grab it pretty quickly. That first paladin I did, I was almost like sniping the hags selectively, you know what I mean? Because people were pulling everything else. I was like, oh, a hag or a monk? I'll take those. Barbed bone? I'll leave that up. Man, I tried to solo, what's his face? You know, the hammer dude? And I was getting wrecked. Come on now. Dracon. I tried to solo him at like 25, I think, off stream, and I had to run. I ran out of mana and he still had health. And I started with a full 100% mana bar. A war here next. I don't hate myself. Medusa. Jeez. What are you trying to do to me over here? Ranger would be dope. Yeah, I plan to do a Ranger. I've been saying I was going to do a Ranger for like 5 months now, but one of these days I'm actually going to do the Ranger. We're really going to do this. Yeah, right? What's the rush? This is the rest of my streaming life, right? So no need to sprint through all the classes. Until I make partner and become a variety streamer instantly. To a bard. I could do a bard. I wonder what would be... So here's the thing with the bard. Would you rather do the bard on P99 where you can actually swarm and it wouldn't be terribly difficult to SSF? Or would you rather do it on TLP where you could do melody and your hands would survive the grind? It's like the pros and cons, you know what I mean? P99 with melody, golden. It'd be really, really challenging to do a bard without swarm kiting. And, as expected, our friendly werebat guarding the entrance over here. I almost need to like buy invis potions just to navigate around there now that the werebats are gonna be a problem. Leok, you might still have like the record for the most. Oh yeah, I could lull them, but that corner is pretty tight. I might still get aggro just when I run by him. Ooh, she started casting that lightning bolt. Stuck in the door while my dot does work. Here comes the instill. Resisted. Perfect. Right now my last tick, my dot should just take care of her. Easy. Yeah, those hags, man. That's where it's at. Yeah, the werebat sucks. You just have so much downtime too when you have to kill one because it takes so much of my mana pool. I need to put bravery on, by the way. A clean 120 HP there. They put like no effort into the server wides for Eldon shit. If you guys look, yeah, I guess you probably can't see it on the Twitch screen, but it's like system-wide message. Valdoon's Gilded Coffin has been defeated by a group of party adventurers. Sounds very impressive. There was a period of time where they put anything that had Mitigation of the Mighty, the buff, also got yellow text. So you'd be like porting up to Sky, doing Island 1, it would be like, system-wide message, someone's killed a Thunder Spirit Princess. Oh my gosh. Or like if you guys remember in TOV, all the Guardian Drakes, like the little dudes that guard each one of the rooted dragons, they had MOTM. Someone killed Valdos. Oh my gosh, no way. Oh, right. Yeah, just get like 40 yellow text. Alright, did I ruin this? Did the whole room respawn? Not quite. Just give me like 1 or 2 more ticks, then I'll pull her. Blackjack. Man, I'm so excited. For some reason, thinking about that made me think of High Keep again. I cannot wait to do High Keep with Trolley on P99 Green. I'm like really glad that we added a second night because we're gonna get there a lot sooner. Yeah, exactly. Some people will be doing those Eldons for a while, like your min-maxers who are like, I need that last AUG, I need that one AC AUG from the one Eldon. Dude, my Bind Moon skill has to be getting close to maxed out now. 19 points away. It skills up so slowly. So, Versaire, in Gates of Discord, are you going to do that quest? Breakdown in communication? The ultimate expansion questline. Right. Yeah. I mean, like that's how it goes. You think you won't do it, and then if you just like get a few of the pieces here and there because there's no one else to do it, you end up almost finishing it by the end. You may as well do it. I mean, it's good. It's worth getting. You know what I mean? It lasts a long time, a really long time by TLP standards. Especially on a 3-month server, it'll be really good forever, basically. There'll be like 1 guild left in the game by the time that AUG is bad. Shit. That Barbone spawned while I was casting. I'm sure that it'll last that long, no doubt. Like you'll have a guild that gets through like Prophecy of Row and stuff. I'm quite confident, but the problem is even after Prophecy of Row, which is where most guilds will be gone, there's a long time to go, you know? Like how many years ago did Finny do POR? And they're still not done. And it'll be like that for you guys, except worse because there'll be even more expansions by then. You got like, what, 4 years before you guys hit live right now? And that's if they didn't make any more expansions, but they're going to make ostensibly 4 expansions in that time, which is going to add a whole extra year on there. So you guys have like 5 years right now until you hit live. And 2 years into the server, there will be 1 or 2 guilds. And you're like, if we have 1 cleric leave every 3 months, the server will not hit live. Now, maybe I'm being a naysayer, but I would honestly be surprised if it made it to live. Now, I think it'll get as far as most people want to raid, though. Hey, Liaki, it was good to see you, man. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah, Fades, I feel you there. That was the thing about Cello. If you were in an expansion where you're like, man, this content blows, you would always be like, but in like 2 weeks, it's basically over. That's what you need to do, Chinchilla. You want to be a cleric? You got to box 2 clerics. The easier thing to do is be like, oh, you want to be a tank? You have to box a cleric. Because there's going to be like a point where you have 9 warriors and they all want to tank. And some of them kind of suck. And you're like, well, guys, we can't split raids tonight because we don't have enough clerics. So tank 6, 7, and 8. If you guys would like to continue tanking, I suggest you roll clerics to box on future raids. What's going on, Fuker? Good to see you, dude. That's crazy, Chinchilla, man. Was it tough or did it become easy because you're kind of like pressing the same button on all 3? That's exactly what you need to do. Next time they launch a Cello or Cello-like server, any server that is faster than the 3-month traditional unlocks, if you want to be a person who goes all the way to live, that's your only option. You need to do that immediately. Like, you need to be like, okay, I'm going to get on this server. It's going to be my main server. I'm not going to jump on any other TLPs because this is like maybe my last chance to ride one all the way to live. Wolf, thank you for contributing to our campaign. Miko, yo, what's going on, dude? Here's a nice Afridi for you. Hope you drop some gebs. I think 2 months might even be too slow. Like, I think 6 weeks is the sweet spot. 6 weeks with normal lockouts, double loot is the solution to everything. 6 weeks with normal lockouts means you have enough time to complete all the other side quests, kind of stuff that you want to do in an expansion besides just raiding. Double loot means that even though it's a very truncated timeline, you still manage to gear your character out enough and complete the content that you need to be ready for the next expansion every time. Oh my gosh, what is happening here? Let's go check. See if we have another hag we can kill up here. Zone just hates me. On a long enough timeline, every spawn that could be a werebat will be a werebat. And don't start in classic launch. How many mobs am I going to get when I tag this? 2? I'll take 2. Oh yeah, definitely. I just think that it would be better because you spend so much of your free time in raids on Cello, especially earlier on when like you had like all of Vexthal and all that stuff. I feel bad for the people who did it. Ebon Dagger. Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder. So it seems like it's only going up and up and up for Sarah. You know what I mean? I wonder what it's going to be like on the next TLP. Just open a guild and be like, whatever the TLP name is. Like, let's say, I don't know. What are they going to name this next one? What do we think? They always name it after like a mob, right? This was Rizlona and Eridune. They'll name the next one like Lucan, like Sir Lucan Delir. And you just name your guild the server name and be like, we're taking everybody. Everybody join this guild. And then there's only one guild on the server right from the get-go. Save everybody some time. No drama. I think they should just get rid of open world loot or open world raid mobs so that it disincentivizes the Zerg. Reduce the cap on classic Kunark Velius. You know, classic through pop raids shouldn't be 72 anymore. Drop it to 54, if not even tighter for some. And then make there be no open world raid mobs anymore. It's the only way you can combat the Zerg. Yeah, I think Lucan is an EQ2 server. He's, you know, he's a much more prominent figure in EQ2. Even though he's a big deal here, he's like, you know, half of the selling point of classic EQ2. Oh, that'd be a good one for Sarah, actually. Any EQ devs in the chat watching right now, Seer and the Lunatic, next server, do it. Hey, have a good one, Medusa. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Yeah, that's true, Fates. They definitely would brief each other. That is definitely a thing. Rat Lab, don't get me excited like that, okay? It's not nice. Dude, Norak, that'd be crazy. I would do it just to be on a server that was actually like interesting. You know what I mean? Even if the rule set would probably suck in practice. Shiki the Scarecrow. What's that knoll in Western Karana that works on the farm? And like all the humans like him? Name it after him. Jeez, we're just shredding this school. What's her timer? 15 minutes. We have 5 minutes on the respawn there. Random mobs with MOTM. Imagine. Fades, would they have it just for one spawn? Or would every spawn, you know what I mean? Like, would every null pup have MOTM? Or just one particular null pup? Like 1%. That'd be awesome, dude. It would be super popular, except there's no way they have the wherewithal to implement a scaling system of that magnitude. But it would be cool. Your best bet would be like an emulator server to do it, though. Right. Get a little bit more mana, then I'll soothe that, jump over the bar, smack this guy, and run back out. Pretty much have a dead spawn in that room. Yeesh. That'd be a hard thing to scale, to be honest, because like so much of current content is difficult because of mechanics now, rather than strictly like damage output. So open this up, jump here. He's still soothed for a second. Oh, he got me. It wouldn't surprise me, dude. I mean, I don't even know that this current company won't do it. It seems really smart. Like, if you were the company that owned Everquest, you would want to cease and desist the emulator servers because they're very popular. Siren's definitely harder than EOB. If you gave Siren MOTM, oh my gosh. I don't even know. Like, it'd be really, really tough to kill him in Classic. He hits so hard. It might be impossible. MOTM Siren. Yeah, you'd have to just rely on the emulator servers not wanting to find out, you know? Nah, you could kill him in Classic. We've killed him in Classic before. Without MOTM, it's pretty easy. The problem is he's only got 32,000 HP, you know what I mean? So you just roll him really fast. He can't kill you fast enough to stop it. And if you've got pets, never mind, dude. Just a giant pet wall like the old days. Whole mage raid guild, dude. Sometimes it was like that. Yeah, exactly, like Lockjaw and Ragefire. That's pretty much how it was the whole time there. Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, I'll check it out at least. This is actually pretty sketch. She gonna land the root? She landed it. Alright, it's nothing but nukes from here on out from her. This is the lowest HP I've started one of these fights at. She's gonna interrupt my nuke with her lightning bolt, isn't she? Yep. She's too far away, dude. She's standing too far away for me to melee her. So many stuns. It was getting kind of sketch on that one. All right, folks. It's been about 2.5 hours. I had a good stream. We're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up now. So, of course, just want to say that I appreciate you guys coming out, checking out the stream. My next stream will be, what's today, Monday? So I'll be on again Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be Charlie and I doing a duo stream on P99 Green, so come check that out. Don't forget to use some of your channel points. You can use them every day, 2,000 points, to contribute towards our good old-fashioned Champions of Norath fund. So if you get 500,000 of those total as a community, we will stream Champions of Norath sometime in the near future. We have 10 days for that to work out. But yeah, so come by on Wednesday. We'll be doing that P99 Green. Friday, I'll be back 8 p.m. Eastern for more solo self-found hardcore cleric. And then, of course, Saturday, we'll be back on P99 Green. So we're up to 4 days a week. Should be a nice packed week. for us EQ content wise, and I'm really looking forward to it. If you haven't joined the Discord already, !Discord in the chat, and feel free to jump in and join the community. We're having a blast in this and a bunch of other games too. So as always, very much appreciate you guys coming out, and let's check out who we can raid. We'll raid Legendary Chris. I haven't raided him in a long time. We got 5 seconds. Jump in and spam that chat. Here we go.